Yes.
Dr. Sanders, the kind of world you're describing now, in answer to the last question, is obviously needed, but obviously it will only come about with leadership. And around about 1989-90, it seemed possible that the United States of America was getting itself into a position where it was the only superpower, it was the only country which could possibly lead the world into a situation of international effort, of laws, of rules, which even the most important country, the United States, were willing to accept. Now that seems to have slipped, and there's a great deal of discussion across the world about how you substitute, given that there's no single superpower, how you substitute different kinds of leadership, but producing it towards the same goal. How do you see that?
Well, first of all, from the United States standpoint, I think we have to do three things. Number one, we have to get our own house in order from an economic standpoint. We can't be spending more than we earn forever. I think something like that is underway, because by this time, across the political spectrum, nobody will get up and say, it's okay to spend endlessly, deficits don't matter. Nobody says that anymore. So maybe we're on our way. It's going to be hard, but anyway, that's important. Number two, we need to get better control over our energy situation. And there's a lot of R&D going on now. And I hope that we are going to see some game changers come about. That hasn't happened, but there's a lot, you listen to these guys and I listen to them. There's a lot of stuff out there that could lessen our dependence on oil, change the energy situation. I think nuclear power is under a lot of pressure right now. And a lot of people don't want to be dependent on nuclear power. Personally, I think we want to try to save that situation, but to do so, we have to examine very carefully the kind of situation created when you have something where a difficult event is very, very unusual and unlikely, but when it happens, it's catastrophic. So how do you manage that kind of risk? And we have to do a better job of thinking that through. And third, in the United States, we have to do a much better job than we're now doing on K through 12 education. We get those three things in place: control in a fiscal sense, better energy picture, and get our education geared up, and we're there. I don't think the United States wants to be the dominant player, but certainly we want to be a country with influence that says we've figured out how to be helpful without being dominant, and be a genuine stakeholder in the world. And I might say, going back to my own experience, there's one country you look to work with as a genuinely constructive partner. It's Britain. Very much the case. So don't check out.
Do you want to add anything? Sam, William, do you want to add anything?
No,
Okay. Yes, sir.